northern New South Wales near Byron Bay area in Australia. It is Tuesday let's say it's the 14th of April. It's the morning time here now. This is a weekly spirit report where I share some information, perspectives, contemplations that I've been noticing and moving through myself, as well as assisting my clients to move through, as well as offering you any information that wants to come through a channeling process where I essentially open my vessel or my voice, let's say my voice box and my mind, my words, to give you a direct communication from some of the entities, these spirits that are contributing and always so willing to give us helpful and positive information. So a little bit about my background. At around age 10, I began to have my first astral traveling experiences. Around age 15, I'm going to give you a quick summary. I became aware that spirits wanted to communicate with me and that they were essentially asking me for help. Over many, many years, I have spent 25 years doing spiritual and personal development in order to understand myself, in order to activate my life purpose, to remain connected and under the governance of my guides, as well as to be present with what is presenting in the moment so that I can really be the very best vessel for information that I can be. The spirits call me a key. I incarnated into this very particular body at this very particular time on Earth in order to act as a key to pass on information from higher dimensional channels. Be they, I'm just going to say on or off the Earth. Things get a little complicated when we're talking about where. Let's just say I channel from different multi-dimensional beings. And really the only thing that I channel is most appropriate information for the exact state of evolution that the collective consciousness is in. So that is my intention. It's always very clear. I work with many different entities and have done for many, many years. And I am always under the strict guidance of them as far as what can be shared, where it can be shared as well. I take great care to hold a very clear container as I send this energy in information, this vibrational frequency in words, in information out to you. What you are also receiving is a vibrational frequency that is, I want to say, between the words and between the spaces. So this is a transmission that you're receiving every week if you want to jump on every week. Now, and I've also spent, the last 17 years working one-on-one and in groups, teaching spiritual development as well in a school, as well as doing psychic readings and channelings. And I'm a clinical hypnotherapist as well, so I do a lot of psychotherapy with different people. If you need any support during this time, please feel free to reach out to me. Okie dokie. So, what I really want to speak with you about today, and as I drop in over the week and ask my spirit guides what it is that would be most helpful, most beneficial to share with you right now, what I really want to speak about is fear. How relevant is that right now? And I'd like to share a bunch of different things that I've gathered over the years. So first of all, I want to begin to differentiate between different types of fear. I often notice that the word fear is quite misconstrued. I say things like fear is considered to be a virus by the entities who govern us from off the planet. Fear is considered to be something that was not in the original blueprint of humans or the planet. It's something that we don't really need to get into where it came from, but let's just say it was introduced from another part of the cosmos, which wasn't necessarily compatible with this planet. And so it's created this thing we call fear. And as I've said, the spirits that I work with, all of them actually consider, certainly the high dimensional ones consider fear to be somewhat of a virus on this planet. Quite interesting now that we have this virus here that is illuminating and highlighting the immense amount of fear that we've been governed by, right? So there are cleanup crews, spirit cleanup crews who, it's almost like they vacuum, they disperse, they disintegrate the energy of fear as it permeates off this planet so that it doesn't impact or have any effect on any of the other life forms off this planet. That's how much of a virus fear is considered to be. That's how powerful it is. That's how much it has been governing and ruling our thoughts. Even if you think you are not someone who is ruled by fear, I invite you to continue digging deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself to determine where you are still having thoughts that are triggered from a fear-based paradigm or fear-based beliefs, because it is quite insidious inside of us. And so even those of us who continue and have been for many years working from the heart space, we are still having impacts and glitches. I want to kind of I often call things like these glitches, because for me they're like little energetic kind of glitches in the field that stops it from just being really smooth and streamlined. It's like I see things in kind of like ley lines in the grid work, and I see these glitches in the lines. The line from you to your higher self might have quite a few glitches in it, and I tend to often think that those glitches are the fear represented for me in kind of the way that I see energy. So anyway, I digress a little. So yeah, I invite you to contemplate the fact that there are massive amounts of beings who orbit around the planet, and their sole job is to ensure that the fear coming from off this planet does not radiate out any further and have therefore negative impact on any of the other life forms that are close to our existence here on planet Earth. So the virus of fear and the need to cleanse this planet of the virus of fear is an absolutely necessary step in our evolution. We are not ascending until the virus of fear has been eradicated from our field. That is just how it's going to go down. So what we are being presented right now is the most powerful, the most obvious comparison of fear and love. Where do you come from right now? What are you focusing on? What are you thinking about? What feelings are you having in response to your emotions that are still allowing you to continue in the fear cycle? Now, as I invite you to just begin contemplating that over the next however long, forever, maybe, in your life cycle, what I am also wanting to share with you is the difference, because often when I'm speaking about fear and I speak about the need of it being eradicated from your system, people say things like, but hang on a minute, my fear protects me from being injured. My fear stops me from doing, silly things like pushing my body outside of its limitations. What I want to say to you is that is not fear that you are experiencing. This word has been misinterpreted. What you are talking about is instinct. Survival instinct is very, very different to fear. So my survival instinct simply says to me, don't walk down that dark alley on your own at night time. That's not fear. I don't need to be in a state of fear that I'm going to be attacked. But what I can be is alert. My instinct says this is a situation where you need to be alert. And so what I'm noticing right now is I go out of my house, and in my house it's all very contained, and I'm in my little yummy bubbles of golden ball and energy, and I'm protecting myself in whatever ways that I do. I'll be offering some protection techniques a little later down the line. I just need to get a bit more organized. And then when I go out of the house, well, let's say I go to the supermarket, I notice that I'm in a state of heightened alert. Now, I'm not scared. I'm not scared that someone's going to sneeze on me and I'm going to die. I'm not scared that I'm going to be arrested because I'm driving out of my house to go to the beach. Fuck no. You're not going to get me scared about those sorts of things, because I don't want to feel fear in my body. That doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel good, and I'm not interested in that. But what I do feel when I go out is a heightened sense of alertness. I'm aware that I need to be extra careful. I'm aware that I can't be unconscious as I go out now. I'm aware that I need to keep my mind in a really, really present state and situation, because I'm aware that I want to stay 1.5 distance away from most people. I'm aware that I want to notice when I'm touching things and when I'm touching my face. But what I'm not doing is being in a state of fear, because in a state of fear, my autonomic nervous system is in a stress mode. If it's in a stress mode, that means it is the opposite of rest and repair. That means that my body is now currently damaging itself because my mind is in a fear state. But what I can be, even when I'm on hyper alert, I can still be in a state of rest and repair. My autonomic nervous system can still be in a state where I'm actually in control of it, and I'm making a choice. even though I'm paying a lot of attention to what I'm doing. And I'm alert to the fact that there might be someone over there that has this virus thing, or, I might turn the corner and some police comes and some sort of insane attempt to find me for leaving my own house. I'm not scared of these things because I know if I'm in a state of fear, then I'm in a state where my cells are not communicating freely. When my immunity is lowered, I am either in rest and repair, or I am in fight or flight or freeze or fawn, whatever you want to call it, which means I'm in a state of repair and healing, or I'm in a state of stress and incongruency. I am in a state of internal harmony and therefore rest and repair, or I'm in a state of inner conflict and therefore turmoil and fear. And like attracts like in this polarized universe, right? Are we quite clear about the law of magnetic attraction? Means that whatever state you are in, whatever you are thinking will be attracted to you. So what I want to be thinking when I'm out there in the world is to be present, is to be alert and to be aware. I don't want to be thinking that I'm scared shitless and that I need to get home as quick as possible, or I simply won't be safe. And often in these kind of situations when I'm perhaps really trying to understand things like the difference between fear and instinct, I look at animals, I look at nature, because I am of the absolute belief, despite the fact that I have direct communication with higher dimensional beings and ascended masters and angels and inner earth beings and descendants of Atlantis and Lemurians, and I myself am a star-seeded being with an incredible amount of information and a key to kind of unlock copious amounts, infinite amounts of just exquisite, amazing, mind-blowing information. What I know for sure is that nature, the earth, Mother Nature, can teach me everything I need to know in order to thrive on this planet. So what I notice is things like those little baby deer, fawns, or I don't even know what the name of those deer are. Any of those kind of deer that we see, let's say, in nature documentaries where there's a fight between a lion and some sort of other small animal. What I think about in those documentaries when I watch them, or certainly those segments, is I think about how the whole pack, I'm not even sure what it's called, perhaps it's a flock of, let's say, deer, I can't think of another word, they continue grazing, they continue eating, they continue allowing their young ones to play, to roll around, to learn what it is to be in their bodies. They do this quite freely, even if the lion is actually in its field, if the lion is not that far away, but it's just kind of watching them. They still really calm. I don't see them panicking. I see them, though, on alert. I see them watching a bit more vigilantly. I see them being really, really present and paying really close attention, but I do not see them moving to fight or flight until they absolutely need to. Not until that lion has begun to chase them and is on their ass and has made their intentions to kill them really, really clear. They do not go into fight or flight. And what I notice is, they don't make it emotional. I don't think they're upset with the tiger or the lion. They're not like, don't pick me, pick someone else. What have I done to deserve this? I'm not worthy of this attack. They just run until the chase is off, and then they stop, and then they begin grazing again. After they've run, they're not broken and collapsing on the floor and trying to figure out why that lion picked them. Why did that lion decide to chase and attack me? It doesn't matter, the lion doesn't give a shit. It didn't pick them for personal reasons. It's not emotional. It's not personal. It's just survival. And at the moment we are most certainly in, I want to kind of say, a competition for our energy. Not just for our survival, because we are surviving and we have survived and we always will survive. This is now a war for your ability to thrive on the planet that you've chosen to incarnate in, for the earth to thrive, regardless of the humans on it. We are in a battle for our mind, for our thoughts, for our energy, for our intentions. And so my invitation for you, as much as you possibly can, is to notice when the switch in your mind is switching into fight or flight, when you're switching into stress, and when you're allowing yourself to be in resting repair, and see if you can navigate the changing circumstances, the changing environment, as in the collective consciousness, as it changes and settles into the new world. We are being challenged. We are going to continue reaching our edges and reaching our boundaries, and we are going to need to know when we get there what we can do about it in order to sustain a really beautiful, loving, internal, high energized state of presence and awareness and maximum consciousness. So, having said all of that, fear, one of my favorite kind of topics. Even though I don't want to give it any power, I just find it very interesting. So I'm also going to invite you to just, over this time, if you've got time as well, watch a bunch of nature documentaries, learn from nature and the animals and the way that they align their lives to the planet, the way they deal with the seasons, the way they deal with things changing, the way they deal with other animals coming into their space as well, the way they deal with not having as much food, the way they deal with threats, the way they deal with changing habitat. Notice these things, learn from animals, learn from nature. All the information is there for you. And I'm inviting you again to really just begin as much as you can to shake off the old paradigm of fear. Because there are many people out there who are trying really hard to make you as scared as you possibly can. And it's not so much fun. I prefer to be in a state of awareness while still finding joy and beauty in the world. That doesn't mean being ignorant. It means being informed and choosing which way I want my thoughts and which way I want my feelings in response to my emotions to go. Now, my emotions still might be coming up with some anger or some fear or some terror even, because most of my emotions are hardwired into my DNA. And while we are reprogramming these emotions, as they sometimes come up from our DNA, they are, again, as I've said, kind of encoded. But you have the control over how you respond to those. And so we're really talking about your feelings now, the feelings that you have in response to the emotions. And so you have control and you have sovereignty in that place. Okay, cool. So let's see. I'm going to pop the crown on, and we're just going to see if anyone wants to say anything to us at this time. I might also start to just get a bit more clear about who they are and where they're speaking from. Certainly, if that's relevant. Okay. I've already set up a little container so that any of the information that comes through us at this time is received by those who are ready and willing and able to absorb and understand it. And we put ourselves in a brilliant pyramid of golden light with a top on it that surrounds me, surrounds anyone who works in this field with me, and allows for the information to remain in a container that renders it invisible and undetectable by any of those who have negative intentions. Okay, wonderful. And giving great respect to the original seeders of this planet, as well as those who continue to work and assist us from the spirit realms, as well as giving great respect to the original custodians of this land that I stand on right now. Thank you for allowing me to offer this sacred work in this space. I'm always willing to work with you and to reciprocate love to the natural environment around me. I'm going to take a moment to say thank you to my personal guides for always being there to pass on information, always there to shine a light, to illuminate a pathway. Okay. There are so many speaking with you at these times, and we are grateful and very happy and very pleased. You could say that we are chuffed, if you like, to recognize and witness and notice that so many of you are going into a state of listening right now. So many of you are going into the state of deep listening that we spoke about earlier, and we adore this state, for we feel that in this state, the state of deep listening, you'll be able to hear through the lies, hear through the illusion, hear through that which has kept you small, that which has kept you in survival mode, that which has kept you in stress and fear mode. You will be able to hear and see and feel and know beyond those things, beyond the mask and the mirrors that are created up front. And to be able to hear and feel into your deep knowing, to hear the deep wisdom of the earth, to hear the wonderful, helpful, always beneficial lessons and knowledge that comes from being very present in your environment and listening deeply to the elements, listening deeply to the earth as she speaks to you, listening deeply to the trees as they speak to you of what it is that they need right now in order to be supported in a greater way than they have been supported in the past, in the modern world as it is. So we're inviting you now, as those who wish to speak to you, as representative of the earth and the collective nature spirits who govern the earth, as well as the collective elemental spirits who govern and control the elements in order to allow for this planet to continue reharmonizing and rebalancing. There are many, 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 many beings, spirits, entities, energies, consciousnesses, if you like, that go into the let's say the construction, but we'd also like to say the sustenance, the continued caretaking of this planet. And we are always so grateful, so deeply grateful to any of those of you who are in the human condition who also contribute to the caretaking of this wonderful planet. And we are calling to you now to stand up more for the caretaking of this planet, to spend your days, if you have time, to spend your days not only informing yourself and educating yourself as to that which is fueled by the new way of love, or that which is controlled by the old ways of fear, as you continue to become more and more discerning of which such way, which such energy, which such frequency you are giving your attention, and therefore giving your prayers, and therefore giving your desires, and actually creating your world by giving your intentions or your thoughts or your prayers into that particular frequency. We are inviting you to keep your hands very close to the earth, to keep your feet very close to the earth, to keep your ears very close to the sounds of earth, to keep your skin very close to the feelings as you touch the earth and as you feel the wind or as you feel water or sunlight on your skin. Those of you who are spending a lot of time indoors and a lot of time in the computer or on any devices or on any machinery, we want to say anything that functions at that level of 3D technology, meaning all of your devices and all of the machines that you are currently using, limit your use of these devices, balance out your use of this technology with earth, with nature time, with meditation, with deep listening while surrounded by nature. Now, if you find yourself unable to be surrounded by nature, then we invite you to simply look out the window and contemplate the sky, contemplate the clouds, listen through the traffic for the sounds of the birds, feel through the fear for the reverence and beauty that is constantly around you and constantly speaking to you, so that you too may be reminded of what it is to live in a state of reverence and beauty. Please know that if you are feeling anger, it is important that you relieve and resolve this anger, because the anger may be contributing to fear. Please know that if you fear the emotion of anger, what you then do with that emotion is up to you. The way that you feel that emotion is up to you. You might find that the feeling that is triggered by the emotion of fear is one, the emotion of anger is one of fear. As the emotion of, let's say, anger comes up, it may be translated by you in your body, in your cells, in your mind as something to be scared of. You may notice that the anger is wanting to be a big brother for the parts of you that are fearful. We invite you to resolve the parts that are fearful. Do not allow the anger to try and run ahead and fix problems coming from fear. Instead, if you feel anger come up, if you experience the emotion of anger, allow it to fuel your fire to contribute in positive ways to the greater good of all life on earth. Please know that anger that comes from fear, that prejudice that comes from fear, bias comes from fear, judgment comes from fear, pulling down others, making yourself right over making others wrong, calling others out on the things that they choose to do or say or share, making fun of others for the things they choose to do or say or share. These are all things coming from fear. These are not things coming from love, and these are not things coming from the positive use of the energy of anger. If you feel fire in your belly, this is a good thing. If you feel anger inside of you, this is a good thing. Channel that anger. Become masters of your own energy. We want to repeat that. We will repeat that for as long as it takes. Become masters of your own energy now. It is the most important thing that you can be doing, is noticing where your energy is going, where it is coming from, the vibrational frequency behind your energy. Do not let your ego trick you into thinking that your anger is being used in a positive way if it is making you judgmental, if it is making you attack others, if it is making you get into egoic arguments with others. These, we want you to know, are not productive or positive or high frequency contributing ways to use your anger. But anger is not something that is bad. Anger is fire. Anger is power. Anger is energy that you can use to get focused, to get organized, to get determined. You can use the energy of anger to keep you very determined and very diligent, so that you can be tenacious and that you can watch your thoughts. You can watch your energy and know where it is coming from. Do not allow yourself to be tricked now into thinking that you are coming from a place of love if you are making others wrong and telling them that they must follow your way. As we become masters of our own energy, we become masters of free will. We become masters of choice. The entire planet now is waking up to the fact that they have had free will this whole time and have not been exercising this wonderful skill that you have. You have not been exercising this tool that has been given to you as you incarnate into the human condition. This entire planet is governed by free will. There is only so much we can do from the spirit realms, from the higher dimensions as well, because we must work through your free will. And so we encourage you to continue to choose love, loving actions, loving expressions over fearful ones. And we hope that we have been very clear about that now. And we will speak to you about that another time. Okay, well, that was brief but pretty strong. You know, sometimes they're like more forceful than others. So yeah, I'm not sure where they were from. It doesn't matter. They didn't necessarily want me to know, but I can feel that many of you are kind of getting a bit more curious about where they're from and who's kind of speaking with us. And I think that's a really great thing. So next time I'm going to ask a bit more specifically, and I will just see if there's anything else they want to share though. Yes, and we often find we wish to offer you a nice counterbalance to the others who have spoken. it is us who spoke with you last time, and we are usually here to encourage you to be very gentle and kind and soft and delicate with yourself. And yes, it is very important now that you are becoming masters of energy, most certainly, and that you are being very diligent and very conscious and staying really on top of yourself with your thoughts and where they're coming from. But we're also letting you know that some days you simply may feel as if you cannot rise up. Some days you simply may feel as if you cannot possibly contribute anything good right now, and all you can do is just hide and escape or comfort yourself. And so in those times, we are inviting you to know that that's okay too, and that rest is also very important right now. And really, what we are encouraging you to do, and what all of us here will always encourage you to do, is to, as you become masters of your own energy, you will then become a master of your own autonomic nervous system. And so it is most helpful at these times to keep yourself very calm. And so, if educating yourself as to the let's just say the polarity of what is going on right now, as opposed to if you feel that you are unable to educate yourself and to get updated information about what is occurring, so that you can make conscious choices for yourself and your family and your loved ones in the future and your community. If this is feeling overwhelming for you, or if it's too much, then yes, follow the guidance of the others and simply take yourself into nature, get your hands into the dirt. Even if you are just working with house plants, speak with the plants, they will help you to calm your nervous system. But also do whatever it is that you need to do in order to feel better about yourself now. But please be aware to not fall into the old habits that keep you numb, that keep you stuck, or hiding, or wanting to escape for too long, because the time of escaping the reality really must be over now. The time of wanting to hide from the getting all of the facts, all of the information about what is occurring, is really coming to an end now. And we know that those of you who are sensitive have been building your strength for some years now, and you are absolutely able to handle it. We know that you can, and we have been helping you prepare for this moment, so that you can handle it, and that you can teach others who are also sensitive how to keep themselves sustained in their energy bodies, so that they can continue updating themselves, so that all can be informed and all can be sovereign. Okay, now just asking me to give you to share my emotional healing practice with you. So I will do that. I'm going to make a separate video about that, so this doesn't go on for too long. But stay tuned for that. I'm going to get that out to you ASAP. So lots of love to you. Thank you for. Oh, my hair is so long. I'll move it out of my way. Thank you for listening. Really lovely to be with you and share with you and connect with you in this space. And if you have any questions, or if you need any support during this time, please reach out to me. And sending you lots of love.